I'd like to call the Personnel Committee meeting for February 18th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Is there any courtesy of the floor? Seeing none, we'll go to the review of the executive appointments, reappointments. For Conservation District Board, Election Commission, General Purpose Authority, Housing Authority, Jail Advisory Board, Lehigh Northampton Airport Authority, Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, Mental Health, Early Intervention and Development Programs Advisory Board, Parks, Recreations, and Open Space Advisory Board, Personnel Commission, and Retirement Board. So the first will be Conservation District and the appointment of Jason Boley, the 36 Dream Drive, Wind Gap, PA, for the Conservation District Board. May I have somebody move it forward?
I'll make a motion to move forward.
Okay, thank you. Recommendation for appointment for the Conservation District, appointment Jamie Bosman, 354 Township Line Road, Nazareth, PA. Consideration for a 4-year term begin February 20, 26 to end of December 31, 2029.
I'll make them. Oh, I can make a standing motion to move them forward, I'm being told.
Okay,
And I would like to do that.
okay, sounds like a plan. Next one is appointment Election Commission. The appointment of Becky Ann Bartlett, 27 4th Street, Nazareth, PA. Ms. Bartlett is considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, to end December 31st, 2027. Okay. Next one is appointment of Election Commission, an appointment of Richard Groff, 425 South 21st Street, Easton, PA, 18042. Mr. Groff is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, to end December 31st, 2027. Next appointment for Election Commission is the appointment of Juan Martinez, 123 Reeder Street, Easton, PA, 18042. Mr. Martinez is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Another reappointment to Election Commission, a reappointment of Sharon Gavin Levy, 4373 Hilltop Circle, Bethlehem, PA, 18020. Ms. Levy is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 26, and to end December 31st, 2027. Next is appointment for the General Purpose Authority.
Election Commission still.
Must have been stuck together. I'm sorry about that. I got it. Another reappointment for Election Commission. Sorry about that. Got stuck together with paperwork. Reappointment of Scott Huff, 2037 Edge Hill Road, Bethlehem, PA, 18017. Mr. Huff is being considered for a 2-year term, begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Next, we'll go to the appointment of a General Purpose Authority. Appointment of Crystal Rose, 134 Spring Garden Street, Easton, PA, 18042. Ms. Rose is being considered for a 5-year term to begin February 20th, 26, and to end December 31st, 2030. Reappointment, General Purpose Authority, reappointment of Lance Coronado, 334 Madison Avenue, Nazareth, PA, 18064. Mr. Colano is being considered for a 5-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2030. The next one will be the appointment of a housing authority, the appointment of Leo Atkinson, 702 Broadway, Apartment 2F, Bethlehem, PA, 18015. Mr. Atkinson is being considered for a 5-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and end December 31st, 2030. Next, we'll have an appointment of Housing Authority, appointment of Michael Brett, 111 Blenheim Drive, Easton, PA, 18042. Mr. Brett is considered for a 5-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and December 31st, 2030. And next will be appointment for Jail Advisory Board, the appointment of Vertel Martin, 3601 Oakland Road, Bethlehem, PA, 18020. Ms. Martin is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 26, and to end December 31st, 2027. The next appointment for Jail Advisory Board, the appointment of Evan Robinson, 535 Main Street, Apartment 15, Bethlehem, PA, 18018. Mr. Robinson is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. The next appointment for Jail Advisory Board, appointment of Joe Walsh, 6149 Snyder's Church Road, 34, Bath, PA, 18014. Mr. Welsh is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and then December 31st, 2027. Next appointment would be for the Lehigh Valley Northampton Airport Authority. Appointment is William McGee, 169 West 29th Street, Northampton, PA, 18067. Mr. McGee is considered for a 5-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2030. Next one will be a reappointment to the Airport Authority, a reappointment of Jim Irving, 440 Spruce Lane, Nazareth, PA, 18064. Mr. Irving is being considered for a 5-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and December 31st, 2030. Next appointment is the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. Appointment of Joe Daniels at 829 Broadway, Bethlehem, PA, 18015. Ms. Daniels is being considered for a 1-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2026. Next will be appointment of the Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. Appointment of Anita Edros Foster, 27 Rosemont Court, Easton, PA, 18045. Ms. Foster is being considered for a 4-year term to begin February 2026 and to end December 31st, 2029. Next appointment for Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. The appointment will be Tung To Lam, 46 Survey Drive, Easton, PA, 18042. Mr. Lam is being considered for a 1-year term to begin February 20, 2026 and December 31st, 2026. Next appointment to Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, the appointment of Eric Shamus, 1233 Bushkill Street, Easton, PA, 18042. Mr. Shamus is considered for a 4-year term to begin February 20, 2026 and to end December 31st, 2029. Next appointment, Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. Appointment Dean Turner, 1606 Richmond Road, Easton, PA, 18040. Mr. Turner is being considered for a 1-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2026. Appointment for Lehigh Valley Planning Commission. appointment Brett Weber, 120 Morrison Avenue, Easton, PA, 18042. Mr. Weber is being considered for a 4-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, to end December 31st, 2029. Recommendation for reappointment, Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, the reappointment of Christopher Amato, 755 Stonehill Drive, Walnutport, PA, 18088. Mr. Amato is being considered for a 4-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, to end December 31st, 2029. Reappointment, Lehigh Valley Planning Commission, would be Judith Haldeman, 23 West 27th Street, Northampton, PA, 18067. Ms. Haldeman is being considered for a 1-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2026. Recommendation for appointment, Mental Health Early Intervention and Development Program Advisory Board, the appointment of Margie D. Arenz, 50 Claremont Avenue, Easton, PA, 18045. Ms. D. Arenz is being considered for a 3-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2028. Appointment for Open Space Advisory Board, the appointment is Jonathan Eros Foster, 27 Rosemont Court, Easton, PA, 18045. Mr. Foster is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Appointment for Open Space Advisory Board. The appointment is Stacy Melvin, 1233 Bushkill Street, Easton, PA, 18042. Ms. Melvin is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Reappointment to Open Space Advisory Board. Reappointment of Christopher Topping, 927 Center Street, first floor, Bethlehem, PA, 18018. Mr. Topping is being considered for a 2-year term to begin March 20th, 26, and to end March 19th, 2028. Reappointment, Personnel Commission. Reappointment of Christy Gessner, 576 Country Club Road, Easton, PA, 18045. Ms. Gessinger is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Reappointment, Personnel Commission. The reappointment of Harold Levy, 4373 Hilltop Circle, Bethlehem, PA, 18020. Mr. Levy is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Reappointment, Personnel Commission. Reappointment of Matthew Martelli, 2407 8th Street, Bethlehem, PA, 18020. Mr. Martelli will be reappointed and being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end on December 31st, 2027. Appointment, Retirement Board. Appointment of Frank Brooks, 247 Springfield Drive, Bangor, PA, 18013. Mr. Brooks is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. And that's, let me see, one more. Reappointment, Retirement Board. Patricia Strunk, 335 Constitution Circle, Nazareth, PA, 18064. Ms. Strunk is being considered for a 2-year term to begin February 20th, 2026, and to end December 31st, 2027. Those are all the appointments, reappointments. Any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
So are we going to be voting on certain people? Like, is there 5 people applying for 3 spots? No? So they're all just going to fill up? Okay, thank you.
Yep, no problem. Any other questions from personnel? Okey-doke. Next, we'll review the personnel request, Human Services Area Agency of the Aging Division. I think Ms. Wondowski is here.
Hello again. Okay, so today I'm here to briefly fill you in on why we are asking for 2 position upgrades within aging. Some of you have heard me talk about our protective services numbers over the years, and just at quick glance, when we get a phone call with a concern about an older adult, we have to, the first piece of paper is called a report of need. So that's what gets filed. So we track those, of course, on a yearly basis, just like children and youth referrals. And in 2018, we had 723 reports of need for the entire year. In 2025, we had 1,907. So we've talked here before about the older adult population expanding and what others, not myself, have termed the silver tsunami with the baby boomers. And so these numbers are only going to increase. So just a couple of things, and then if you have questions, I'm happy to answer anything. The state prefers protective services caseworkers to have no more than 30 cases on their caseload. Currently, we have our veteran staff, 2 of our veteran staff. One has 84, one has 76. We have it's not funny, I know it's not funny. We have new employees who are still on probation who have caseloads of 12, right? Like, all things we want to avoid. So we have expanded the number of protective services workers over the years. We have not done it in quite some time. But as those referrals grow, and they steadily grew starting in 2018, it was, then it was 900, then 1,000, then 14, then 50, right? So they're growing every year. So what we are looking to do is take one aging care manager 2 position, which is currently vacant. It used to be the position that served, or completed, I should say, all of our guardianship work for aging, which we're not supposed to be doing. We no longer do that. So that position has been vacant, and what we would like to do is upgrade that aging care manager 2 to an aging care manager 3. Because our protective services caseworkers, the way we do it in Northampton County is those have to be aging care manager 3s. They may be a little more experienced, and that was done a long time ago, so I don't know the whole rationale, but nonetheless, in order to add staff to protective services, this is one way that we can do it, and the financial impact, I mean, that's on your paper, I won't go over the exact numbers, but it's not a significant financial impact. It's no extra county dollars because the money comes out of our aging block grant. So that's the first one. And I did speak with our business agent with PSSU, and I have an email with their verbal agreement to this upgrade. We just have there's like 1 or 2 sentences we just have to iron out before we finish it. So I just wanted you guys to know, since it's a union position, we've got that taken care of. The second upgrade we're looking to do is we currently have an aging care management supervisor 2, who for at least a year or 2 has we hired that person with the idea of it being like a quality assurance person for all of aging. And at the end of the day, that individual has not been able to do anything besides protective services, for the most part. I mean, she's, done some other things, but she has essentially been performing the job of an aging care manager supervisor 3 for a year or 2 out of the kindness of her heart. And obviously, we sincerely appreciate that. So what we're looking to do by upgrading her position from a 2 to a 3 is compensate her for the work, number one, that she is already doing. But we would refocus that position on the supervisor for all of protective services. So she would oversee the supervisors, and then it adds a little bit of a layer. Even my deputy and our administrator in aging, they focus so heavily on protective services because of the volume. And so we're simply trying to also give a little bit more breathing room for those folks to be able to look at aging as a whole, not just protective services. So those are the 2 requests that we have made. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. The next one,
Motion to move this forward.
huh?
Do we need to make a motion to move it?
If you want, yeah.
I'll make the motion if it's needed.
Okay, Department of Public Works, Parks and Recreation. I see Mr. Amelie back there.
Good evening, Council. So this request is in regards to a title change and accompanying step increase for what is currently the Superintendent of Parks and Recreation. Last year, there was a transition with the Farmland Preservation Department, changing from the Department of Administration into Public Works, more specifically the Parks and Recreation Division. As part of that move, Brian Cope has taken on more of a supervisory role, overseeing the farmland division as well as his previous duties under Parks and Recreation. So we're proposing a title change to Superintendent of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation to reflect the addition of the Farmland Preservation Division into this org, as well as all the conservation duties that he naturally does as part of our Parks and Rec Department. So that's the rationale for the change. Brian is here to address any specific questions that you may have.
Good, Mike. We'll
Okay,
push
thank
it
you.
through. Thank you. Anything else for Personnel Committee meeting? Seeing none, I'll entertain an adjournment. Thank you.
Then I will call the Finance Committee meeting to order for February 18th, 2026 at 5:27 PM. We will start with courtesy of the floor if there's anyone that would like to address council. Not seeing anyone, so we will move on to a review of the 2025 budget amendment. This ordinance was introduced by myself and, excuse me, Mr. Giovanni at the February 5th, 2026 meeting. The title is an ordinance amending the 2025 Northampton County Budget, Human Services, Graysdale, and District Attorney opioid funds. Is there anyone that would like to speak to this from the administration?
Good evening. My name is Brandon Dunstan, the Acting Director of Fiscal Affairs. The budget amendment you have before you is for 2025, not for 2026, just to be clear. So we needed to amend in the county contribution for Graysdale, which came in at approximately $7 million. And then the second part of it was in December, we received a letter from the district attorney indicating that he wanted to regain control of his opioid funds. So I need a budget amendment to transfer that money from drug and alcohol over to the DA. That's about it.
Have any questions for Mr. Dunstein?
I'd have a couple. Yeah. All right, thanks. So in 2025, there was no county contribution budgeted for Graysdale. Correct. And now we know that there's a $7 million need to, okay. I guess my simple question is when did we figure that out? That seems like a pretty significant number there.
Yeah,
Can you explain that process a little bit? I'm sure I'm missing something, so help me out here too.
The original budget was established with a census of, if I remember correctly, approximately 520.
Okay.
They did not go above 500 the entire year. So essentially, it came down to a revenue shortfall.
Okay.
I believe their average census was 484, or here it is, 489 for the year.
Okay, based on a projection of 520.
Right.
Seems pretty much where we are right now, actually.
We're still just under 500 last I heard.
Right, and budgeted at
Budgeted at
520.
Right.
Right, okay. So this is not a temporary movement of money to offset Medicaid pendings waiting to be reimbursed. I just want to make clear that
understand that.
I mean, that did not help the revenue situation there.
Right.
So that certainly, the number of people in that Medicaid pending status does reduce the amount of revenue that comes in pretty significantly, because we don't recognize that as revenue until it gets switched over to actual Medicaid, at least that's from what I understand. So since we have such a higher, the case mix is so much higher there, that revenue shortfall needs to be covered.
Right. So is there a potential, though, that once those Medicaid pendings are approved, there will be more, I'm gonna use
It
Ms.
could
Keegan's
possi-
extra
yeah.
money.
It could
Yes.
it could be possible that
just
that
it-
revenue
not,
could
you know,
fall into a future year.
Okay,
That
right.
is
I'm just
correct.
trying to understand the process, because I've heard all these different scenarios, and I'm trying to make sense of what, what
Right.
the reality is, which is not a bad thing, because I'm sure we'll need the money at some point anyway, so. But in order to finish out 2025, the
Right.
$7 million is necessary to,
Yeah, to book that journal entry. It's not a physical cash transfer because Graysdale does not have its own physical bank account.
right.
So just to do that final closing journal entry for us to close out the 2025 books.
Right.
I need the budget there to.
Okay. And this is, I mean, there's not going to be an amendment to the amendment at some point to your
Not to my knowledge.
knowledge
So
at this point?
this
I'll give you a little
covers-
asterisk, not to my
Yeah.
knowledge at this point, but,
So that is our unaudited number as of now.
okay.
Usually, Graysdale is affected by the audit in terms of, because we can only recognize revenue that we receive within the first 3 months of the following year. So if for some reason our revenue does not come in like normal, that number could change. It could also get better. So if we collect more money than we expected.
And any of the, I use the term non-operating supplemental revenue, IGT, COVID, et al., all the other things, all that has already been calculated for.
Yeah, it's already in there.
And this money was found from other places, so that's not
Yeah,
extra money?
So in the backup that
I'm a
you were
layman here,
sent-
so work
Yeah.
with me a little bit.
No, it's okay. So basically, we went through all of the general fund budgets, found out where the budget was higher than the actual. A lot of it was in salaries and fringes because of vacancies. And basically, we're just bringing those budgets down to what was actually spent last year and moving it over into Graysdale. There's also some revenues that were higher than we expected, so all that mathed out to the 7 million.
Appreciate it.
You?
I have a question as well. Did you have something?
Yeah, I just,
You go.
I'm sorry, Jason.
That's fine.
Do you have a projection, what do you think the IGT money will be? Graysdale?
For which year?
This year.
For 2026? According to the contract, it is supposed, the projected contract revenue was 40 million. But then the amount that we actually receive will most likely be in the 30s.
But, oh, all right.
Money from other departments, am I right?
That is correct. It is
Okay.
money that they did not spend last year.
Okay, you are taking $7 million from other department, am I right?
Most of it is from other departments. Some of it is offset by an increase in revenue.
Okay, so how many people will be laid off if you will take from correction department and if you will take?
None. This is all passed, so this is, in the case of corrections, they only had, say, 100, I don't know the exact numbers, but if they only had 170 corrections officers working and they're budgeted for 200, there's a gap there between what they actually spent last year and the amount that was budgeted. It's that gap that I'm moving. This is all prior year, so this will have no bearing on anyone's budgets moving forward in either '26 or going forward.
It will not impact anything on them? I mean, say if I will see in the sheriff department, there will not be impact on their services?
Budgets are on a calendar year, so this is only affecting '25's budget, so this isn't affecting '26 and what they're doing going forward. Last year.
Explain it.
Last year.
It's,
Say Graysdale Nursing Home, they need $7 million. County must cover up this gap, okay? they need to raise a new, path ones, they need to raise a new revenue. Path second, relocate existing funds. So you are choosing a path second, am I right?
So can I just say one thing? I don't think that people understand that when patients are in Graysdale and they're there for months, that it could take a year for Medicaid to actually pay the bill. So we have to front the money in the beginning, and then we get paid possibly a year later. So like tomorrow, I'm gonna see it in wherever, Graysdale is under $7 million, blah. It's not, it doesn't go like that, okay? We're gonna get paid for it eventually. So some of these numbers, I don't know if you should get so hung up on it, and I'm sure you could explain it better than that. But I don't think the general public understands that we're fronting the money, but we're gonna get paid when Medicaid eventually gives us the money. You know what I'm saying? No?
Yeah, and the accountants and the staff at Graysdale can certainly explain that better than I ever could.
You are cutting from the other department $6.5 million, am I right?
Plus or minus. I mean, I'd have to double check the exact number there, but we're pulling it out of their budget, their prior year budgets and moving it over.
Increasing the fees $1.8 million, am I right?
Gonna take your math, I don't have the math in front, I'd have to add it up really quickly to know whether that 1.8 is right, but there's a certain amount of money that we got more in revenue than what we budgeted. So we're just increasing that revenue budget to match what actually happened.
We're not increasing any fees. This is just additional revenue that came in more than we had budgeted for.
Correct. No. This does not increase fees. This is just certain revenues came in. We were able to collect more taxes than we expected. County was reimbursed from the state for sheriff training that we didn't budget for. There's different things that happen like that we can't plan for when we originally budget, that sometimes revenues come in higher than what we expect.
And you are not cutting from the salaries to $4.8 million.
We're moving around from a prior year. We're not cutting in the current year. So this will have no impact on any of the staff.
Chair, if you don't mind, a question that Commissioner Holland asked, and I think it's relevant to the questions, Nadeem, that you have as well, is that we essentially knew that this was going to be happening before she was sworn in as county executive. Ms. Zirinsky essentially said to us that we would be seeing this happening. I mean, well before she took office as county executive, well before new members of council took office as well. I mean, this was something that was spoken about before, and the likelihood that this was going to need to happen, that this particular budget amendment was going to happen. So I wanted to throw that out there on the record for some context, that we kind of knew that this was right around the corner here. So, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Do you have any further questions? Okay. I do have one question. So the census didn't really go above 500 for all of 2025. We're a little bit below 500 now.
Not that I'm aware of. If it has gone over, it could have gone over 500 at some point, but
Are we going to be budgeting for 520 for 2026?
2027, you mean?
Or 2027, I meant, yes.
We haven't started that process yet, so I can't answer that question yet.
Chairman, but it is for 2026. So at
Fiscal
some point,
27, but, you know,
if there's a need, let's try to identify that and maybe project a little bit better, a little bit earlier on, and for smaller, that would be my recommendation, now that I understand it a little bit better, right?
I guess my point is, we shouldn't expect that we're gonna go up to 520 this year and count on revenue for 520. If we didn't go above that all last year, we're still not above 500. That's my thought on it, but. All right, I think there's no further questions. Thank you, Mr. Dunstein.
Thank you.
The next item we have is a review administrative code, Article 13 contracts, BSI corporate benefits, the High Concrete Group. So, now therefore, it is hereby resolved that Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with BSI corporate benefits. Is anyone to speak to that contract here tonight?
Evening, Council. Mary Lou Ziegler, Director of Human Resources. Last year, we put out an RFP for the brokerage services for our healthcare and ancillary benefits. We formed a committee. Mr. Giovanni was kind enough to serve on that committee, along with also Mr. Kapoor was also on that committee. We are recommending that we go with BSI Corporate Benefits. They've been serving Northampton County for more than a decade. They've demonstrated knowledge of industry practices and healthcare benefit plan structures. They continue to be a valuable resource to the administration as well as to our employees. They have a concierge service that our employees can call and get help with any healthcare questions that they have. Their partnership has provided us with access to superior stop-loss protection, advanced data analytics, and COBRA administration at no additional cost. BSI has not increased their compensation since the start of their partnership with the county, and they are a locally owned company in Bethlehem. I also have the CEO, Tony DeRay, is here with our account rep, Brenton Horting. They're both here, in case you have any questions that you would like to ask them directly. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, Nadeem?
Okay, proposal states the 38 firms access the RFT, but only 5 bids. Why was the bid participation was so low? Why was the RFP advertised broadly enough to ensure the 2 competitions? So I was curious that why there was 5 bids only out of 38.
I don't know. I can't speak to why.
Advertisement was at the.
That goes through the procurement department. They advertise. They have a process for advertising, and they reach out to local companies to let them know. I'm not sure what the standard or normal is for number of bids for this type. Actually, maybe you guys know when you do other bids, how many people bid normally?
I think there were 5 that we.
Yeah, is that a normal amount?
I think 5 to 6 maximum is typically a bid.
So that would be a typical amount.
Have any questions? Okay, yes.
I'll just comment on Mary Lou. This company was local, it's been doing the work for the county, and they didn't raise their fees. So I think it was pretty awesome that BSI was one that we wanted, pretty much.
I can tell you from my experience that many companies are raising healthcare costs this year, so. Could we get a motion to move this forward to the full council?
I might be on finance, I'll move it forward.
Thank you. The next one is another contract. Now therefore is hereby resolved that the Northampton County Council does hereby concur with the recommendation of the county executive as set forth in the attached documentation to approve the contract with High Concrete Group.
Hello again. As I believe council is aware, we're pretty far into the design and approval process for a replacement parking deck. One of the things that we identified very early on in the process was that getting precast concrete panels for the new garage would be the longest lead time item that we had to deal with. Typically, it's about 9 to 10 months from the time contract is awarded to the time that the precast will actually arrive at the site. So that was a priority for us, was to try to finalize the design of the structure and get that contract out to bid in advance of the other components of the work. So we will be approaching council in the next 2 months with recommendations to award contracts for the site work, the mechanical, electrical, plumbing contracts. But we needed to get this contract for the precast done so that it doesn't hold up the anticipated construction schedule. On that end, the bid that we received from High Concrete came in about 4.2 million. Our original construction estimate from our construction manager had budgeted about 6 million for the precast. So we actually came in pretty well under budget, and we're happy with that number that we received. I do have representatives from CHA. They are our construction manager on the project, and they'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Mr. Mealy. Does anyone have any questions?
Quick comment, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair. Quick comment is that whenever projects like this happen within municipalities, counties, states, wherever, everybody always says, it's going to be over budget, it's going to be over budget, it's going to be over budget. Mr. Mealy just told us this is under budget at this point, and I think it's important to note that. And let's continue to talk about the responsible nature at which this project has undergone since it was brought to our attention. Once again, folks, under budget. I'm very glad to hear that, and I appreciate the work that Public Works has done on this thus far. Thank you.
Giovanni?
Mike, what's the timeline for going forward for the garage? Demolition and stuff like that, when are you planning to do that?
The demolition work, we are tentatively scheduled for that to begin around August this year. That'll be roughly about a 3-month process, at which point then they can start on the subsurface preparation and the cast in place for the new garage. And we're expecting to start erecting the new precast panels around March of next year then.
We made enough provisions to provide parking?
Yes, we think we have a solution for that. We're actively working on that, and we should have a lease agreement before council in the next month or so.
Mayor Holland?
Just a question about the process. So the whole, it's been approved, obviously, by the previous council, but you'll be coming to us with the incremental actual approval for the money within that 30, was it, whatever the total was. Is that my understanding?
Yes, the bond funding's already been secured, but we'll be coming before council for approvals for every individual contract that we need for this.
Okay, great, thanks.
Any further questions? Okay. If we get a motion to move this forward? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mealy. And we have no further items on the agenda, so at this point, I will move for adjournment. Thank you.
Yeah.